guys, and welcome to a new video. As you can probably already see, I have a cool new setup this video. I have to thank a friend for letting me borrow all this. So today's video is going to be the chronic illness tag part 1. Of course, I have to thank Georginas Journey for tagging me, and of course I will put her link in the description so you can check out her videos too. So I guess let's start. Question number 1. What are you diagnosed with? I am diagnosed with postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome as well as dystonia. And of course there's a few kind of digestive things in the mix too, but those I guess kind of come with the territory. Question number 2. What do you do at night when you can't sleep? Now this kind of varies. If I can't sleep, I can be up filming a video at 2 in the morning, or I can be reading some medical stuff. I have some medical textbooks. I do enjoy those just to pass the time when I'm bored or don't feel good. I do stuff like that. And of course, thank goodness there's the internet. That's a great pastime. So that's what I do. Question number 3. What is the worst side effect or experience I have had with a medication? Now I have 2. Recently I had quite the experience with a medication that unfortunately wasn't my fault. I was prescribed gabapentin quite recently, which is an anticonvulsant kind of seizure medication. I was prescribed it at 100 milligrams for 3 times a day, and the pharmacist filled it as 300 milligrams once a day, so kind of mixed up. I took it, right, and it was 3 times what I was supposed to have. Luckily, it took only like a few doses to figure out that this was very bad. This shouldn't happen. So that was probably my worst experience. My worst side effects would be probably when I was on Midodrine. Just kind of super anxious, couldn't sleep because I was really anxious, and I'm not an anxious person, so to have this side effect was crazy, and I didn't know what was going on. So that was probably my worst side effect that I have experienced to this date. Question 4. How has your illness affected your mental health? Now, I know that this probably ranges huge with people with an illness. For me, it of course affects huge. I was a kid when I first got unwell, and it took me away from the life that I knew. That caused a lot of anxiousness when it came to going out of the house because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what would happen if something bad happened. What would I do? That kind of progressed into depression. I definitely suffered from depression for a while. Just struggling to figure out why I was given this illness. How am I supposed to live with this illness now? That has kind of been the ups and downs of the mental illness part of the illness, and that's what I've experienced so far. Number 5. Describe your social life. Well, what social life? It's a saving grace to have the internet, that the internet exists, and without the internet there just wouldn't be much socialization at all. When a lot of the time just getting dressed is an accomplishment in the day, going out and hanging out or doing regular things at 20 years old, you know, I just can't do that with my illness, and that's okay with me. I have accepted that. But the social life aspect is a lot different from what you would normally expect at 20, 21 years old. But I have found that anyone with a chronic illness, we all share this unique social life that we have. So of course we watch each other's videos, we get advice from each other that way, and that has been a blessing and something that I'm thankful for, that it exists. You don't just meet people in the doctor's office or the hospital all the time. You're lucky when it happens, but you know. Question number 6. What is the hardest thing to do when you're flaring? So when my POTS is out of control, my dystonia kind of jumps up and says, hey, I exist too. So I will have more seizure-like episodes, and that can really derail what I find is my regular life. So there's no more doing the things that I would typically do in the day. Now I'm bedridden, trying to recover from the dystonic episode. So of course, then the movie watching, I love to crochet, so I can crochet when the muscle cramps go away from the dystonic episode. That's kind of what my days look like when I have a flare-up. Question number 7. Do you have worries for the future? I think this one you could probably guess. That would be yes. The future is a very daunting thought when you have a chronic illness, because for me at least, I live day by day. I don't try to plan things months in advance or weeks in advance, because I can go from well one day to not well the next. I, of course, used to think a lot about the future, like what am I gonna do as a career? Is what my dream of being even gonna be possible? Big things that you're not supposed to be thinking about at 20 years old. Like, am I gonna have a family? Okay, when I have a family, am I gonna be able to take care of the kids? Like, who's gonna be running around taking care of them? And just these outlandish thoughts that go through your mind. I'm slowly learning to, just stop thinking that big and just think about now. And the future, I know it's going to happen. I can't really slow it down or change it, so just gotta ride the ride of life. I don't know how else to put it. So yeah, I do have worries for the future. Question number 8. What's your favorite comfort food? Now, of course, nausea is secondhand to POTS. Nausea sucks. Some days I can hate food just because I'm too nauseous to eat it. But I do have to admit, my comfort food when I feel just gross but not too sick is popcorn. Warm, buttery, salty popcorn. That is my comfort food. I am honestly the person that goes to the movie theater just to get the popcorn. Yep. Question 9. Tell us a valuable lesson that you have learned from being unwell. A valuable lesson would be, I have learned that life is a wonderful, crazy, just something you're never gonna figure out sort of thing. The answers that you wish you could find, you're not gonna find them, but that's okay. And I've learned that everyone has their own story, and our stories are what bring us together. I can sometimes just sense someone has gone through something health-wise, and just kind of know, like, hey, this is my story, this is what I've gone through. And finding out that people have gone through things too. And that's really a wonderful thing, to stop and listen to other people's stories. I find that today, everyone is so fast-paced and really just stuck in their own world, their own life, that they forget to stop and listen to other people's stories. Our stories are what make us unique. Our stories are what attracts each other to one another, and that's probably the most valuable lesson I've learned, is to stop and listen. Stop and experience life when you can. Stop and enjoy just the small thing. We're all a family dinner even. Like, you gotta stop and enjoy it. Like, we're all well enough to be in this moment, sitting here together, and that's a wonderful thing. Question number 10. Name 3 things that were taken away from you due to your illness, or from your illness. This is a big question that can turn into an entire list of things, but number 1 would be dance. Dance used to be my world. I love dance. I love music. Anytime I hear a song, it's, what dance is gonna go great to this? So that's number 1. I miss dance. I can't dance anymore. That's just a pastime, I guess. Number 2 would be independence. Now, I have independence, but it's a different kind of independence than what I used to. I could spend all day out of the house. I could walk from one end of town to the other, and no one really worried about me. It was, let us know what you're doing and just check in every couple hours sort of thing. I miss that kind of independence. My independence definitely is very different now. I never do anything without someone, due to the fact that if an emergency happened and I'm on the floor having a dystonic episode, you know, for my safety, I can't be alone. And I think that's common with other potsies who faint, right? Is you're terrified to be alone and other people are terrified for you to be alone. So of course that, and I am unable to drive. I'm not allowed to drive. It's not smart for me to drive. So just those few kinds of independence I definitely would say I miss. Number 3 would be, I miss being carefree, I guess. I miss that I didn't have to care about so many things or worry about so many things. Nowadays I have to worry about medications, worry about IV therapy every week, worry about, okay, if we're going out, where are there places to sit, when do I have to rest? And I miss kind of the carefree, just go with the wind style of life. And I think that's putting it in an understandable way, I hope. Those would be the top 3 things that I miss. Well, thank you for watching this video. I hope this fancy setup looks cool and you guys think it's as cool as I think. It took a bit to set up, but I think it's worth it. Again, thank you to Georgina's Journey for tagging me, and I hope everyone is well, and bye.